I just went for a run on the promenade on one of the most wintry days, and it was high tide and there was just sea spraying at me. And anyway, there's no time, so I'm just going to sit here in my running attire and we can get on with it. We had to break the last podcast up into 2 parts. Well, we are breaking it up into 2 parts because last week's one got quite long and quite intense, and there's still so much to talk about.
I'm 28 and I'm over being single. I want to share my life with somebody, and I'm almost willing to try anything to find myself a decent guy.
Let's dive into your experience with Bumble and going on a date with someone from Bumble. Take it away, Kim.
Had your own clapperboard there with your hands. Going back to digital dating, it gives me this like gut-wrenching feeling. It's like it's this barrier that I'm trying to overcome.
It's interesting because you were speaking last week about how you're fine, you're going to keep it light. Have you changed your mind about digital dating in the last week?
I go in these waves of like being chilled with it and I'm fine that I'm on, and then I have like these dips. I think maybe I'm just being too judgmental on the quality potentially out there. Where I'm more of a quality-driven type of person.
Isn't everybody?
Yeah.
I mean, we all want the best for
ourselves. I feel like when you put yourself out there, though, you claim like the single flag, and it's like, I'm available.
Yeah, well, that's what you're doing, aren't you? I mean, this is what Pretty Lonely is all about, so let's embrace it. But you pushed through, and you went on a date with someone.
I did. So I swiped right for the very first time on Bumble, and I got a match with a familiar face, and he is a very good looking familiar face that I haven't seen in about 6 years.
Okay, so you knocked on memory lane there. Is that what you say? You knocked on memory lane? No, what is it?
Oh, I'm not too good at these sayings, I must admit.
We're both terrible.
I think we'll create our own vocabulary.
We're going to have to. I mean, what was that one thing we made up the one time?
Spontaneity?
Spontaneity, exactly. We cannot speak English. Okay, so tell me about him. For God's sake, what happened on this date?
So I had this +1 ticket to go attend The Voice South Africa semi-finals. I was excited to attend, and it wasn't... And I attended it in Johannesburg. Such a great date scenario. So I invited this very charming looking young man, and I was like, you gotta get dressed up quite well because I'm taking you to a nice event.
Black tie, I can imagine.
Tie.
Quite something to ask somebody who you go on a first date with to suddenly wear black tie and attend South Africa's star-studded event.
So he arrived to the hotel that all the girls from The Bachelor were staying at, and he looked absolutely...
Bachelor reunion. So I keep jumping in here. Yeah. Was it fun with all the girls?
Oh, we got such a girl tribe going on after that. Once you've had such deep memories, it's a natural bonding scenario. That's my boyfriend out there. His name is Gorgeous George. I dog nap him every now and again from my ex-roommate who now lives across from me. We have a partition, so we're adulting these days. We have our own front doors.
Just by the way, to set the scene, if you haven't already realised, we're actually in Kim's apartment today because my place is just a disaster with all that's going on with us moving. Okay, let's rein it back.
Let's go to Bumble, right? So he arrives looking absolutely
You sounded
dashing.
like you were just doing like a rap. Let's rein it back. So we're doing Bumble, right? And then like the beats. It's because of those headphones. Okay, we're really being annoying now.
Took him to the Voice South Africa, and we had a ball. So after the date, it was a short and sweet one. It was a Sunday evening, so most people went home quite soon after the event, and we took a group Uber with the dearest date, and he dropped us off at the hotel, and we had a little kiss on the lips, and it was more of like a friendship kiss on the lips.
Okay.
And I think he hugged the other 2 bachelor girls, and off he went back home, and that was the end of that.
Was it really the end, or did you guys text or chat on the phone or anything like that afterwards?
So we didn't, I feel like on that Voice South Africa date, we didn't really get the opportunity to speak to one another.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was all just like side by side, wondering what the fuck you guys are doing together.
So we did actually have a bit of a decompression over a phone call.
Yeah, I'm flattered that you considered me as your target. One of your targets.
It really wasn't like that. I was just like, I'm supposed to be on this digital dating thing, experiencing, and changing my perception and like trying to change my own mental mind frame. And digital dating was there, and I was like, well, I really don't want to go alone to this voice thing. It'll be so nice to take someone. And it just happened that you were a familiar face and I felt comfortable with inviting. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't have brought anyone. Let me tell you that.
I'm very flattered. And to be honest with you, I was very excited to see you after such a long time. It reminded me of a time in my life that was like a lot more carefree, But there were also the days we were like little demons running around doing all sorts of bad
completely
stuff.
Transient and hedonistic.
Yeah.
Which your early 20s are supposed to be like. So
I don't know. I mean, you might not get back from that. Some people just don't return.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I stopped drinking, because I looked at a few people around me and they just never left that time zone, that in this time capsule that just keeps on looping.
The time capsule called Cape Town.
Yes, the time capsule called Cape Town.
Whilst editing this, I've realised that Kim's fridge is making a bit of a noise, so apologies for that. I quite like that conversation. I feel like it was a very honest, quite deep conversation that you guys had going there. But tell me about this section towards the end where he was like, it reminded me of a time in my life where I was much more carefree. Like, speak to me about that time.
So those days are early 20s when we did know each other in passing and at many events. These were days where you just lost yourself in the movement of the dance floor and the gentle gaze of a guy in front of you, and those are the happy early 20s.
I guess we all had a lot of fun in our early 20s, and we're still having fun as well. And then you also mentioned how some people don't come back from that, which is obviously true, and that's quite a Cape Townian thing. And I don't know, is that giving Cape Town a bad rap? And how is that true for you guys?
So I think let's just position Cape Town in a global mindset.
Yeah.
Drinking is exceptionally affordable here.
Yeah.
It's part of your daily routine to some extent.
Definitely.
So everything revolves around going to a wine farm, going to an amazing lunch, which is always quite heavily laden with liquor.
Yeah.
And just, I think a lot of people just don't get out of that loop in life. When you cut back on the alcohol, and I'm actually speaking from my own point of view.
Yeah.
When you cut back on the alcohol, you're able to achieve more in life because you're more focused, you're more dedicated, you're driven more, where you're not just suffering from a hangover, and it's a hurdle that you keep having to climb over every day.
So you do prefer your life now, obviously.
Oh my gosh, I've done a 180. I don't even recognize the old me.
Really?
Totally.
Wow. I'm so proud of you. I know I say this quite a lot, and I throw it out quite frivolously on this show as well. I'm proud of you, but I'm very, very proud of you here. I think it's a really big step, and it's also very courageous. It's not easy, I don't think. I mean, I don't know how I would survive without having a glass of wine now and again, So,
yeah, I wish I had that type of personality, but I know that I'm aware of enjoying something quite a lot, and I'm either a black or white kind of girl. That's I'm either completely in or I'm completely out.
I see.
There's the only thing that's grey about me is my surname. I know that's so corny, but really.
Yeah.
So to rephrase, South Africa, well, I think just Cape Town has this culture, this very social culture.
Yeah.
And it's incredible, it's addictive, it's part of high season, and that's where you meet incredible people. And, when I started to remove that alcoholic, party scene out of me, I lost a lot of people along the way. And that was, I think, my biggest fear. I mean, I had to re-evaluate my friendships. Those friendships that were part of me were no longer part of me because I wasn't at the social scene anymore. I think I was quite a social butterfly, and that was my life, and I enjoyed it so much. Yeah.
And how was dating back then for you?
So, sure, this is actually quite deep, but all the relationships that I have actually looked back on until maybe from when I was 18, I fell into after a few weeks of drinking with them, and it was a drunken moment that happened to shape into a relationship. And a lot of the times I ended up not enjoying them sober, my partner, because I was invested in the fun side of them, which isn't someone's day-to-day character.
Definitely not. It's nice to tap out and have a little break with him now and again and, you know, get tipsy, but it's not your everyday at all. I mean, you've got to see the boring shit, you know? You've got to live with that.
You gotta love the boringness as well
Yeah.
as the fun side.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
you can't appreciate the summer if you don't have the winter.
Yeah, but then how does that work now, do you think? Because, well, it's great that obviously you can form really sober connections with people. But do you sometimes still find, like, that these connections can be a little bit boring because there isn't that, like, liquid courage or liquid fun that just occurs when you drink? I mean, how does that work?
I mean, I have other vices I enjoy, like smoking a bit of weed before I go to bed, or just to relax me. I have a lot of social anxiety, especially when I'm in big crowds. So that helps calm me down a bit and deal with the crowd when alcohol would generally help me out with that.
I feel like it's quite a healthy pivot, as long as it doesn't also start becoming like a thing that's negatively affecting you.
Totally.
which
It's all
I'm sure
about
doesn't.
understanding yourself and just being aware of what your pros and your cons are, I guess. Now, it's very much a case of when guys ask me out on a date, or they want to go to a cocktail bar, that's the most natural place to go for a first date. I feel like there's a lot of resistance, like dating a sober person. Oh, never trust a sober person.
Yeah, exactly. And then they feel like they can't get drunk because they'll feel like you're sort of so alert and so able to judge them or something. It's weird how life is like that. I mean, why?
Listen, I'm still the girl at 4 a.m. in the morning, sweaty as can be because I'm dancing on that right speaker on the front of the dance floor. I can still have a blast.
See, that's cool. That's amazing. I wish I could say the same for myself. I just don't know if I could do that.
Depends who the DJ is, depends how good the music is.
Like, no, this is not fun for me.
People honestly feel awkward coming on a date with me when there's no alcohol. So generally what happens is the guy won't drink because he feels like I'm going to judge him for drinking, which I totally don't. I'm actually quite happy for him to, if he feels like he needs to have a few glasses of wine to calm him down, that's totally fine with me. I'm happy with that.
And sometimes you do get a little buzz from other people's buzzes, because I've chosen not to drink now and again, and when everyone else is drinking around me, I've sort of also felt like quite, I don't know, like it works sometimes.
Definitely. When I go out with my friends and like they do drink and I'm there as their friend and I'm there to also get involved sometimes. I've got to be social at some points in my life. And their energy is infectious.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the same sober buzz as them as they are until about 2 o'clock when everything starts tanking.
Well, I think this is cool. I think, as you said earlier, you're not going to be diving into relationships from a rose-tinted glasses haze, you know, and
Totally.
you'll be able to like see the real person and make real decisions based around that. And I'm glad we had this chat. I feel like it's long overdue, and I think it's a part of you, and it's inspiring. So
Thanks.
let's have a hug. So I'm not going to say his name because that's our rule. Let's call him. What can I think of? So you went out on this like fancy thing. What about a Gucci handbag?
He is a Gucci handbag. He's like the kind of guy you want beside you because it's so good looking and you're like, I feel good. I feel good to have this little accessory with
you
me.
and Gucci handbag had any vibes since then, or was it just that phone call?
No, we actually have kept in conversation. I've never done a long distance relationship. I'm not a phone kind of girl, so I'm more of an in-person kind of girl. In fact, everyone complains about how bad I am on text, and it's nothing personal. It's just
Yeah, sometimes I will message you and there'll just be that one tick, and it's like you've just disappeared.
So it's so important for me at the moment to be present, and I try to practice this as much as I preach it. So,
Yeah, that's good. No, I can tell you do that, and I do that too. It's just like, you don't have to always be there to respond to everything. This day and age can be, I sound like such a granny. In this day, like back in our day when we didn't have to respond because we'd just be sending like an SMS and you didn't know if it actually got through to the other side, so it was fine. You know, you guys are sort of...
So we're in
Not
conversation.
happening.
He actually sent me a
Oh, you
beautiful
are.
song. I mean, when did you last get a song dedication?
What? He sent you a song dedication?
It's Sit With Me by Foster the People. It's an amazing song. Well, I don't know if it was a dedication. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe it's like, this is a great song, you should totally listen to it. Or maybe these lyrics
mean
make
something?
me mean something. So Gucci handbag has recently come out of quite a tumultuous relationship, and he's going through a healing process and he needs to find himself again and balance his life, I think. So I'm not pushing hard on that at all. It's just going to meander as it will, and whatever happens, happens. But got a bit of girl code on this particular guy because he has been with one of my friends. So, you know, not everything in life is about finding Mr. Right. Maybe he's just a platonic, amazing connection to keep.
Yeah.
He stimulates me mentally.
Exactly. You can have philosophical conversations to your heart's content over
Oh,
the,
yes,
over the
I
phone.
love that.
'Cause I know that's your jam.
It's my jam.
So when it comes to love, Kim, you never know what's around the corner.
You know, you're right, but my tarot reader said... Okay, let me just rewind for like one moment here. I've had ridiculous tarot readings. One happened in New York at a bar called Employees Only, which is a prohibition-style bar. And this chick was like, you're looking for work, which I was at the time. We're moving to like a tropical place in the States. And I was like, oh gosh, where on earth would that
My
be?
word. Where did they come up with this? Sorry.
And I was a student, so I wasn't prepared to come back 3 months later. I hadn't really prepared for that financially. And 3 months down the line, LVMH called me up. They're like, hey Kim, we got a job up for you in Miami. And I was working in the Bahamas. So that was amazing. And that was out of my control. The second one actually happened not too long ago, 6 months before The Bachelor actually took place, and I had a card reading, and the first card was 3 of Cups, which means a lot of people competing for the same type of scenario. So all these women competing for one guy,
Lee,
who had a broken home, which is the next card, which is
okay.
And
that was the narrative.
This was all in favor of marriage, but the relationship between you and him dies off, and there's actually nothing that comes of it.
This is freaking me out, Kim, because I don't believe in tarot readings, and
know,
now you're just
I
going
know.
and you could be making this up as well. So I don't know who to trust.
Okay, so I've had 2 readings that have actually come true in my life out of impossible situations.
I will try and believe this.
Okay, anyways, so we have a tarot reader that I've met now in Quebec, in the hippie side of the world.
Okay, so we're going back to Quebec.
Yeah, she gave me a tarot reading that really resonated with me. So I did record some of the reading. I'd had a translator help me out, one of my mates who could speak English and Turkish. So he's going to translate the very Turkish tarot reader's messages to me.
You have some questions about these guys. Is there any guy that you have questions about?
No, I'm looking for a companion, but no.
There's no one.
No, literally not even a connection.
Da bir ilişki başlatacak.
You're going to be starting a relationship abroad.
Okay, Kim, this is freaking me out. Does she believe that you're gonna fall in love with Jean?
You know, I think I actually need to have a conversation with John, because I know I previously mentioned that I've had...
I just looked at you and my eyes just bulged. Because I was like, that could be your POA for this week. How about you call John and you say, we had this tarot reading. I don't know if I told you about this. I don't know if you have already, but you can just say...
I didn't tell him about the tarot reading because I knew what she was telling me in this reading, and I was like, how do I bring it up with him?
Okay, well maybe it's, maybe it's time. I mean, do you feel comfortable asking? And are you actually is it something you want to know at this point?
I think it's important to be confident with yourself, ask those questions. If you don't ask the right questions, you never know.
Yeah, and this is all about putting yourself out there, and it can be, I'm sure it'll make you feel slightly vulnerable going, because you have this sort of relationship now, and it is what it is, and now if you open that door, it could be quite daunting.
I just want to make sure that I do it tactfully, and I'm not tactless.
And I'm not forcing you into this.
No. I mean, it has been pending on my mind, and I'm just waiting for the right timing, but I just need to pick up the phone and have that conversation and see if his mindset on friendship and crossing the friendship boundary into relationship boundaries is something that he's thought about. I just want to open or close the door. And
may as well. So then we can then move on.
Totally.
We can all move
clean
on.
slate, move on, and...
Or not move on. And
we'll
have you moving over to the UK, and we'll have to do Skype podcasts or whatever. Well, I'm dying to hear how that goes, and I'm also dying for that bowl of pasta that you promised me, so I think you should start cooking. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode as much as we have enjoyed sitting here chatting and giggling and learning about things. And
and honestly, if you guys have any suggestions for us when it comes to dating, some dating tips, potentially some challenges to put me on. Like, if you feel like there's a good challenge, be like, Kim, we think you should totally go to a yoga class and try and meet Mr. Yoga Dude.
Yeah. So we are prettylonely_pod on Instagram. We're building a bit of a community over there. And we actually have a Twitter account, which is prettylonelypod, all one word. We have about 3 followers there. So if you want to follow us, that would be great. And then please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us.
We just want to know what you guys are liking, what you're not liking, and how we can...
I mean, this is a journey after all, isn't it? And we're all on it. The journey of love. Anyway, see you soon, or you'll hear from us soon. Okay, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.